Hi everyone, we are going to be testing out some brand new makeup today in a very sick Pampered Wolf household. You're going to have to excuse the state of my hair. I missed wash evening last night and it shows. So it's up, it's out of the way. Please overlook it. It's been a week. So Seth and B are both off school ill. Seth's had a nasty chest infection since he got back from a school trip last week. And B went to football training last night, came home complaining of a sore throat. B never complains about anything. So when she does, you know it's about to happen. This morning, woke up, she also has the chest infection as well. So I have both kids off ill. I thought this was probably the best video to film today so I can keep on nipping out and making sure they're okay. They've got everything they need. They're of that age now where they sort of sort themselves out, but I'm a mum and I want to sort of fluff them and make sure they're okay. So let's get straight on with it. If you are new, hi, my name's Gemma, 44 years old, have slight combination skin now as I'm going through perimenopause. My T-zone is much oilier, but I do still have very dry skin in places and dry flaky patches around my mouth. I would love it if you are a new viewer or if you are a returning viewer and you haven't subscribed for any reason whatsoever, please consider doing so in this video, and also click that like button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos like these. I have a couple of new products from Benefit to try out on my brows. So we've got the Precisely My Brow Detailer and the Precisely My Brow Wax. Now I've picked up the wax in 2.5, which is neutral blonde, and I've picked up the pencil in 3 warm light brown. I'm hoping it's deep enough but not too deep. So I've no idea how to apply this. So we're going to apply it in 2 different ways on either or brow. So I'm going to go in with the pencil first on one brow, and I'm going to go in with the pencil second on the other brow just to see how is actually best, because it doesn't actually say. Now, yesterday I did get this pen out, so it's the only one that I've had out of the box, and spent absolutely ages spinning this bottom thing up, trying to get the pencil out of the end. Turns out this is actually a spoolie and got nothing to do with it. Honestly, I was there for around about 20 minutes. No word of a lie. This is how my life is going for me at the moment. Duh. So you actually spin the top of the product to get the pencil out of the top. Really just should have read the instructions. That would have been the easy thing to do. It is incredibly fine, so you only need the tiniest amount poking above the top of the little plastic tube. Otherwise, this is going to break off and you are going to waste product. So I usually start by styling my brows with a brow wax, but I'll do that on the next brow. We're just going to fill these in using hair-like strokes with this pencil, and it's very good. It is the right shade for me, so I'm pleased. It's a nice level of pigment that's coming out of this, and it looks very natural. It's the same shade as my natural brow hairs. I think maybe I could have gone one darker. I'm really pleased that I didn't go for the 2.5 because I think that would have been too light. But I mean, wow, look at this. I really wish I had my brows styled though. I don't like doing my brows this way because I just don't know where they're gonna sit when they've got wax in. It's just not working for me. So the pencil is amazing, but let's just see how this brow wax goes in and whether these 2 products can actually be used together, because it may need a clear brow wax and then the pencil over the top. But I definitely don't like using the pencil first. If you use a brow wax to style your brows so that you can then use where the actual brow hairs are laid once they've been styled as a guideline to apply your pencil, you probably won't like doing it in that order either. So let's get some of this product in the brows. Now this is in 2.5. I already like this. So it's already styling my brows incredibly well and adding a little bit of colour. So I'm using the flat backside of the applicator first. This one has a rounded edge on one side and a flat edge on the other. So go in with the rounded edge now just to get a little bit more product in the brows. I absolutely love this applicator. It doesn't hold too much product. So at the moment, I'm not getting into a mess, and I've chosen to do my brows first because I always choose to do my brows first, but I thought it was even more important in this instance because this is a pigmented product. If I then got into a mess, I could wipe it off the surface of the skin before I did my foundation rather than messing up products that I'd already applied by having to wipe it off. So you can definitely tell that this one only has the brow wax in there, and this one has the brow detailer and the brow wax, which makes me think that this has not hindered the brow detailer at all. The brow detailer did not budge, but let's see how the brow detailer goes on over the top of the brow wax. See if we can create some hairs after applying the brow wax. And you definitely can. Oh, this is lovely. And so small. So minute. Probably half the size of the NYX Microbrow Pencil, which you all know I absolutely love. So this is Diddy. Really, really Diddy. So both of these products were incredibly easy to use. I'm actually blown away by the brow wax. I haven't had as much success with other brow waxes that have had pigment in the past. There was a massive cleanup job on every single one of those previous brow waxes with pigment, and there was zero cleanup with this one. So super, super impressed. I love the brow detailer if you are after a brow pencil that is really fine, like a brow pen. This one you need to give a go because it's stunning. It goes on really nicely. It doesn't bleed out on the skin, and I had just applied my moisturizers prior to filming this, so if it was going to bleed on anybody, it was definitely going to bleed on me, so I didn't get that problem. Also, even though it has a lot of pigment, it's not super soft. I don't find this to be cumbersome to apply, and although you're obviously not going to get a lot of product in this because it's so super fine, I haven't swiddled this up even more whilst doing both eyebrows. So it's not one of those products that's going to disappear incredibly quickly on you. So I love it. I thought this was going to be one of those products that when you dispensed some of the pencil out of the end, you wouldn't be able to retract it. And actually, it's really easy if you do twist up too much to pull it back down. You don't need to push it, because if you do push it, it's going to break on you because, again, it's that fine. So, only positives to say about this product at this moment in time. That may change. If it does, I'll update you in a future video. I've just popped some foundation on my skin. All the details of all the products that I'm either wearing in this video or trying out in this video will be in the description box down below. So, thought I would try out this brand new product from Lancome, which has actually been around for a couple of weeks now. I saw that it was released. I've been a little standoffish. Should I try it? Shouldn't I try it? Because this is a hybrid product, so it's multi-purpose. You can use this as a one and done eyeshadow, which is the way that I'm going to use it today. You can also use it as an eyeliner, and they also say this is for cheeks as well. So they have two different finishes. One is more of a sparkly finish, which you'd use as a highlighter if you're going to use it on the cheeks, and the other one is more of a flat color, which you'd use as a blush. Now, I don't know about you, but anything with a pinky or a reddy undertone to it, I don't want anywhere near my eyes because it makes me look like I've been crying for weeks or been punched in the face, and neither of those are the look that I'm trying to achieve today. So I went for more of the highlighter shade, and I've gone for the shade 2, which is the shade Desert Sand. On the UK website, you don't get the name, you only get the number. So this is number 2. I'm not actually sure how you're supposed to use this as an eyeliner because all the product is on the top or on the bottom of the product there, and unless you want to get a brush out to apply this, I think it's going to be quite difficult to apply as a liner, so I'm not going to do that today. Also not going to put this on my cheeks today either, but I am going to see how this applies on my non-prepped eyelids. So I don't have a primer on today. If I feel like after I've done one eye it needs a primer, I'll apply a primer on the other side. So let's just see how this applies. Pat a little bit of that on. Oh, this is very pretty. Extremely pretty. This is also drying down. I can feel it drying down. This is drying down quite quickly. I really like that. Let's just pop a little bit more on this outer edge because I haven't got any there. This isn't too intense. The pigmentation in here is there, but it's not dramatic. So it's a very subtle wash of pigment and a bit of shuncle in there as well, and I really like that. It's incredibly flattering. I do have some dryness on my upper lid area here, which it has slightly clung to. I'm not quite sure if you can see that, but I don't feel like this is a drying formula. It's just that that dryness is, I mean, it's there. It's there in abundance at the moment. So if you have really dry eyelids, that may be something to take note of, but I do think that's really, really pretty. As it's drying down, the creases in my lids are sticking together somewhat. So until that's completely dry, I'll just keep my eyelids shut. I can't see this is going to be a formula that's going to crease because it dries down so quickly, but by the end of this video, we will know. Let's try the Aoran Super BB Concealer. I wasn't a huge fan of the Super BB cream in general. I thought it was a great product, but it was slightly too heavy for my skin and it went a little cakey around my nose and my oily T-zone area. However, it is the sort of consistency that I felt would look superb underneath my eyes. So now they brought out a concealer. I'm really excited to try it. So I've gone for the shade Claire. I have no idea how many shades are available in this range. I doubt there will be many. I'll pop that on the screen for you now. I'm going to apply this as I usually would to the back of my hand. It has a generic fluffy applicator, which I'm sure would be very easy to apply directly to the skin. But I am one of those people that likes to warm this into my skin with my fingers. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on the back of my hand and pat that in. And then we're going to see if this is buildable. So straight away it has a nice sheen on the surface, which might be quite light reflecting. Just going to leave a bit over the areas of darkness, just to see whether that'll add a bit more coverage as it's drying down, and pop a bit on the outer corner of my eye that I do have quite a lot of discoloration. See how that looks once it's drying down. It's very shiny at the moment, but have a feeling once it's dried down, that's going to look really, really nice. It's less shiny in real life than it is on camera because I obviously have the studio lighting in front of me, which is reflecting off the product, giving it more of a shinier edge in the monitor, what you're seeing at the moment. So just bear that in mind. I'm going to leave that for a second, then I'm going to come back. So as it's sinking into my skin, we are losing a lot of that shine from the surface because it's like a moisturizer with pigment in there that's really moisturizing and hydrating the under eyes as well as giving it that bit of coverage. I am wishing that this had slightly more coverage to it, with it being the Super BB cream. I remember the Super BB cream having a little bit more coverage than this. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but the overall finish underneath the eye, the overall feel, it feels very nourishing underneath the eye. I wouldn't say it's a weightless product. It feels like a moisturizer, so it feels incredibly pleasant, but it's not got that incredibly weightless feel to it. I really like it. And even though I've not done much with it on this side, it's not creasing or sinking into any of my fine lines or wrinkles. It's not airbrushing any of those out either, but I feel like it's plumping up the skin in that area because of its hydrating qualities. So I'm impressed at this moment in time. It feels so lovely. There is a slight tackiness on the surface of the skin with all the hydrating and nourishing ingredients in there. Again, feels very much like a moisturizer, so you do have that slight bit of tackiness on the surface, but that may change when I apply powder. Before I go in with powder, however, this is one of the brand new Dior Foreverglow Maximizers, the new highlighters that are supposed to be incredibly long wearing from Dior. You all know I was going to pick this up. They also do something that is supposed to be very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I hardly reach for my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, so I wasn't going to be wasting my money on something that I know I wouldn't probably use very often. If you do want me to pick that up and show you what that looks like, I am more than happy to do that, but I thought I would pick this one up instead, which is more of a highlighter. You can also use this as a cheek colour if you like that really illuminated glow, and I've gone for the shade Peachy. I'll pop the shade range on the screen for you now. So once again, this has been marketed as a multi-use product. You can use it all over the eye as a one and done eyeshadow, underneath the brow bone, high points of the face, all over the cheek, on the body if you want to use it on the body. You get quite a lot of product for your money in here. So you get 11 mils worth of product, which is 0.37 fluid ounces. And I just love the shade of this. I was expecting it to be more sparkly than it is. So I was just going to use this on the tops of my cheekbones to highlight my cheeks, which is why I got the shade Peachy, because that's the shade that I just gravitated towards. However, I'm just going to pop a little bit on the back of my hand and see how this applies first and foremost to the tops of the cheekbones. I might try this all over my cheeks. This is so subtle and beautiful. Look at the pinky peachy tone to that. It is gorgeous. I'm just going to smooth this out on the back of my hand there so that I don't pick up too much product. And let's just see how much pigment actually shines through. Because if it's not masses of pigment, it's not going to be great as a blush. But doesn't show up massively. It will probably show up more if I didn't have any foundation on my skin. But yeah, not for me to be used as an all-over blush, but I'm hoping it mixes into blush nicely. I'll just make both sides even, and then we'll go in with a little bit of powder and see how this looks powdered down a tad. Subtlety is definitely the word that I am screaming in my heart right now, which doesn't work for me as a blush, as you know. However, if you do love a subtle blush, if you don't like those blushes where the pigment jumps out at you and punches you in the face, you may really like this. So I think I wouldn't use it like this in future, but it can be used in so many different ways. And can you just see the glow on my cheek? How stunning is that? That is what this product is for. The glow. The glow is intense and yet very elegant, very sophisticated. It's not giving me Tin Man vibes. It's it's very luxurious looking. I did want to try it before I applied powder. I'm going to apply some powder now, and then we'll go back in a little bit later on and see how it applies over powder as well. The powder that I'm going to be using today is from Beauty Pie. This is the Wonder Filter Magic Blurring Loose Powder. I actually didn't get this in the first wave of powders that they produced. It sold out very quickly. I was able to get my hands on it when they restocked, so let's have a look what all the fuss is about with this. It is a really nice powder, nowhere near as finely milled as the Givenchy powder, but it does have a little bit of colour to it, even though this is supposed to be like a translucent powder. So let's just see how this goes on my forehead, down my nose. Let's just powder that down a little bit. You still get that sheen of glow, that just gloriousness poking through the powder. And yet where I don't have the Glow Maximizer, it's really taken the shine away from my skin. So that is impressive straight away. It's also slightly airbrushed my pores. I am going to be adventurous and go in with a powder puff underneath my eyes and see how this concealer copes with powder. There is still a slight bit of tackiness underneath my eyes. I'm hoping that the powder will help airbrush out any of my fine lines and wrinkles, because the concealer still has a slight sheen on it and it is so hydrating and nourishing. It's not airbrushing those imperfections out, and I would prefer that they were gone. So I've applied a little bit of the powder to my Trigwell Cosmetics powder puff. Knock off any excess. Just going to smooth that out. Not that there is anything to smooth. I mean, it hasn't sat in my fine lines. And then what just happened there? Can you see? There's no dryness underneath my eyes at all. It's just smoothed everything. It's blurred everything. What is going on? Hang on. You can see no creasing, no settling in fine lines and wrinkles. Yes, my fine lines and wrinkles are evident underneath my eyes because of the sheen of this concealer, but everything looks healthy and glowy. I love powder. I really do love powder. Very rarely do I get blown away by a powder as much as I have with this one. I'm speechless. A lot of translucent powders for me aren't suitable for use underneath the eye. My Givenchy one I'd use every single day, but I absolutely adore my Pat McGrath blurring under eye powder. I think it's superb. This can be used underneath my eyes. And I thought we were going to have a disaster with this because it does go slightly clumpy when you first get it out of the tub, and I thought that this was going to seriously adhere to any stickiness that I got underneath my eyes and it would be a little bit of a cakey mess. Not so. Let's just go around everywhere else where I suffer with shine. I'm going to give that 10 minutes, see how it settles down, and we can start fresh. So I've applied a little bit of blush, I've applied some mascara and a little bit of eyeliner. It's not eyeliner, it's eyeshadow, but I've used it as eyeliner. Look how beautiful this eye look is now. Now it just feels a little bit more polished, a little bit more finished off. It is gorgeous, and it's definitely not going to crease. This has dried down, it has stuck, so it's not settled in any of my creases, any fine lines. It is just absolutely beautiful. Oh, I have a couple of new bronzers to try from Dior, and my heart is melting. As soon as I knew these were going to be released, I was on there immediately, every single day, checking out the website. These look so beautiful. I thought I knew which shade I was definitely going to get, and then I was torn between two, so I thought I would get them both. I have the shades Pink Bronze and Coral Bronze, and it's actually Coral Bronze that I was super excited about, but I thought that Pink Bronze would suit my undertone slightly better with me being fair-skinned. So let's try them out. I haven't even swatched these yet, but I will show you the swatches on the screen now. So both of the shades of these bronzers have a slight shimmer in there. It's very subtle, but it definitely is there. If you don't like any sparkle in your bronzers, these definitely aren't going to be for you. Also, both of the bronzers, regardless of whether you go for the pink or the coral, are quite warm toned bronzers. So if you don't like anything overly warm, again, these probably aren't going to be for you. I'm going to use quite a big fluffy brush for this. This is the BK Beauty 104 brush. Just in case this is seriously pigmented, I don't want it to throw me off at all and ruin my entire makeup look. So let's use Pink Bronze first. And oh, this is pretty. With only doing half of my forehead, it looks patchy, but it seriously isn't. So let's move on to the Coral Bronze and pop that on there. This has slightly more of a neutral look to it, and weirdly, this looks slightly less orangey than the Pink Bronze. Just add a bit more product to this. I very rarely use Wow. That's a bit much. I'm going to buff that out with a bit of translucent powder in a second. So when I'd applied hardly any, it looked very neutral. Now it's starting to look a lot more warm than this side. Both sides are looking quite warm. Let me grab a powder blush and just buff that out with the Beauty Pie powder. Okay, so the formulas, they are really nice. Very pigmented. You don't need a lot. Learn from my mistakes. Always have on hand a bit of translucent powder and a fluffy brush, just in case you mess up like I did. Let's just gush over this packaging for a second because it is stunning. It's like a tapestry design. It is very luxurious. I would feel extremely high-end pulling this out of my handbag on a daily basis. And you get a mirror. It's really nice and chunky. It's very well thought out. And the product itself is embossed as well. They do blend out really well. I made it look way more difficult than it actually needed to be because I applied way too much and I dabbed it straight on my forehead. So got quite a lot of product in one area rather than just going in with a swirling motion like I should have done, and I should have only dabbed in the product once. I shouldn't have swirled, just one dab is all the pigment that you need with these. I need more practice, quite obviously, but yeah, beautiful, beautiful products and definitely make me feel a certain way. And if you're into that, then these maybe one to give a go. Let's try a little bit more of the Dior Glow Maximizer. Now I've got some powder products on my skin to see how this blends into powder, because sometimes, and only sometimes, liquid products don't do so well over the top of powder. So I'm going to take a little bit on my finger and then just pad that on the high points of my cheek. Okay, you are not going to have any issues if you use a similar powder to me. I don't know about any other powder because obviously this is the first time that I'm trying this, but that is stunning. It is blending superbly well. It hasn't grabbed to a particular point on the top of my cheek, and wham. Subtlety and beauty, understated, my kind of highlighter. I'm going to make both sides even, but super, super impressed with this. It just looks lovely. Look how beautiful that is. There's no harsh highlighter line. It's not a highlighter that you'll be able to see from across the street, but it's definitely there, definitely makes my cheekbones pop, and I love the shade of this, Peachy. To finish off this look, I'm just going to be adding a little bit of my Hourglass Phantom Volumizing Glossy Balm in the new shade Crave, which I had the shade Sense, I think it was. It wasn't one of the new shades, but I absolutely adored it. Vowed to get this one, couldn't wait, did it straight after filming the video. So they are so beautiful. This one's a warm pink shade, and it is everything. And I mean everything. So, final thoughts. If I could only keep 3 of these products and I had to send the rest of them back, these are my top 3 picks. So firstly, we've got the Tint Idol from Lancome. So easy, so quick, so simple, doesn't budge, doesn't sit in creases or fine lines. I just think it looks so beautiful on my eyelids. It's the shade 02. I don't think I would go for any of the other shades apart from 01, which is a really goldy, shimmery tone. I may pick that one up. The other ones have more of a reddy glow to them, or a pinky glow, so I'd probably steer clear of those ones. You may love those ones, however. The second product that I love, and these are in no particular order by the way, is the Precisely My Brow Wax. That may shock a few of you that I haven't chosen the pencil. I love the pencil. I think it is genius. It is super fine. It is really accurate. But this is the one that I think made a major difference to my brows. It's not got the best hold. So this isn't going to give you the same hold that you would get from the 24-hour brow setter from Benefit, but it gives you the thickness, it gives you the style, and it gives you some pigmentation. So this is pretty much a one and done product. If I played around with this a little bit more, I don't think I would need a brow pencil in my routine or a brow pen. Just this if I was in a rush, and I would be out the door. I love it. And finally, the Beauty Pie powder. This is such a great powder, and I'm still a little bit gobsmacked about this. I don't know what to say. I just think it is unreal. It seriously is unreal. So if you're not a member of Beauty Pie already, I haven't actually spoken about Beauty Pie products for a while. Hopefully that will change in the near future. I have placed a couple of orders recently, so there will be some creeping in to my videos over the next few months. If you're not a member already, I do have an offer code that will get you £10 or $10 off your first year's membership. That is Gemma sent me. I'll pop it on the screen for you, but it's definitely worth it for me. I subscribe to Beauty Pie every single year. I pay a one-off fee to get my hands on their amazing products. There are some products that I'm not too keen on, and some products that I just think are unbelievably good. So maybe that's an idea for a video in the near future. Let me know if you'd like to see that, best and worst of Beauty Pie. But for now, I'm gonna go and check on my kids. Hope you're all well. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know if you've tried any of these products already, you've had bad experiences or great experiences with them. I'd love to hear from you. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.